Hey, good morning. This will be part seven with like an asterisk. I don't know. We have a project right now. We're working with Expo, um, and I don't fully understand the flow of Expo when it comes to like installing new stuff and running stuff, and this like you need to create a build and a development build to run. Yeah, I'm not sure. I tried running it and I was getting um, yeah, some build errors and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is recreate this project in using the CLI, and that means we'll have to change to the to React navigation. But that's the only thing that needs to change. Yeah, I mean that's the only thing that needs to change. We'll just install Firebase like before, and everything will be fine. So I have a let's see tutorials. What I need to do is create a new project. React Native TypeScript. Yeah, I don't want Expo. I feel like we can just use the latest. Might break some stuff, but we'll figure it out. Okay, let's try this. Sure. I think this is the one that installs like super fast. But yeah, this should be super quick. I mean, really just copying over the source folder. We'll copy over the assets folder. We'll turn these into screens. We'll make some changes to, we won't really do many changes to that. Uh-oh. Research node. So this is saying that currently, like the terminal system is on the wrong node. So we just need to make sure that we are on node 18. So we're going to do homebrew search node is just going to search for all versions of node. And then I'm going to do unlink node at 16. Brew link node at 18. Okay. Actually, let me. Okay, we can try that again. Yeah, I was trying to open it, and then this was happening. So yeah, but I think that's just because I opened the iPad. But yeah, then I tried to build and it wasn't working. Some with Fastlane. I don't want to have to get into Fastlane to. Yeah, it was saying that like I needed Fastlane to do it, but yeah, sure. Install some Cocoa Pods. Hmm. Bundle install. Oh. CD. Social media. Let's see, npx pod install. Let's try that again. Okay, so what we'll have to do is yarn. And I'm going to create a file here. Actually, I have to open this. So I'm installing the node modules at the moment. And then what I'm going to do is code. It's going to install that here. And then that's done. So we can close this. Now we have this open. We can open this up. What does this mean? Okay. Very cool. Okay, so I want to do one thing here. So we have, let's see if it learns from the other projects. Nice. We're going to do install actually, which is going to do yarn and cd ios and pod install and cd back and yarn open Xcode. Just some quick scripts to open some things. So now I can do yarn install. Oh, we can't do yarn install, sorry. Yarn. Yeah, these we just call pods. I can't do yarn install because you can see it was calling yarn install, which is calling yarn install, which is calling yarn install. Okay, so this is installing the native iOS pods. And we'll wait for this to get done. This will then, because we called yard pods, we have this script. This script is going to install the dependencies, the node modules, which it already did, when I had opened the other VS Code. It's going to go in the iOS folder. In this iOS folder, there's a pod file. This pod file is exactly like, it fulfills the same role as our package.json, right? A package.json works at like a JavaScript React Native level and says, hey, these are all the packages, the external libraries that this project needs to operate. And obviously these are all the default ones. And on the iOS level, we have the pod file. It does the same thing. It's just that this pod file is used by React Native, and as I believe, I don't think it's bad to say that, or incorrect to say that, like, this pod file is modified by React Native and filled with all of the dependencies that's needed, or the native level just knows what pods to use, right? Whereas in here, we have to explicitly declare them, but with the pod file, I think it just knows what to do, right? And that's as far as I think I need to know, which I'm very thankful for, because getting into the config and doing all that stuff is a nightmare. At least for me, I don't prefer it. So we have a package lock JSON. We don't want that. I'm a yarn guy. Notice that I did yarn install, yarn, all that stuff. So I don't know why I made the switch a while ago and I haven't gone back. Let's see. Okay, so what I'm going to do as well is just, I need the other project open. I need to copy this, so I'm just going to click on it, Command C, I have Mac. Click on it here, Command V, and we can see all our files are now here. I'm going to do the assets folder as well. There it is. Okay, so it looks like the pod successfully generated. So this is going to open up Xcode. We can see at the end it runs that for us. I'll need something up. Vendor. I don't know what vendor is. What repo is this on? Social media CLI. Yeah, I'm curious on like what, like this is its own branch, but I don't get what branch this is on. Main. What if I open changes? Yeah, there's no remote. Where is Xcode? Here it is. So here's our CLI. We'll need to. We don't need to do anything here just yet. What I'm gonna do. We got product name. Yeah, I think we just run it now. We'll need to install the Google files. So we'll do that in a second. But I just want to get it running the first time, make sure that everything is good. I'll open up Firebase. We'll just do the iOS version. Go to Finder, Downloads. Open up a new tab. What I'm going to do is go into here inside the CLI. I will do new group with folder, and I'll do Firebase. Inside of here, I'll do new group, and it'll be prod, and it'll be dev, and then I'll go into iOS, go into Firebase. We'll call this one dev. Copy items if needed. We'll leave it as is. Oh, where'd it go? We will move this here. Move that. And now it's a little jacked up here. Just remove reference. Okay. I'll just remove it all because it's remove reference. And then go back to here, add files. What? Okay, let's restart. Let's restart here. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of this. Go back to here. Download the Google service. Bring the Google service over here. Okay. Go into Xcode. Add, and there we go. Okay, so now that's added. So this will be for this. So then Google has the bundle ID. So what we're going to do is go to sign in capabilities, paste that bundle ID, and I'm using my team, so I'll just switch to that. And everything's good. Okay. This is yelling at me because why? Maybe because we don't have the, oh, we're not actually running anything. So start, I like to reset the cache. So I can reload this. And we're good. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is bring this over to here. We don't need any of this other stuff. And let's get some packages installed. Okay, what I'm going to do is this. $15 minutes, not bad. So you have the CLI here. I want to install some packages. So I'm going to do yarn add. Oops. Space. I'm going to add this one. I'm going to add Redux. I'm going to add Redux here. Let me do Redux first. Redux toolkit. We'll do React Native safe area context. I think we'll need this one too. We don't have it in here, so I'll just add it. We will definitely take reanimated. We'll take the gesture handler. And I think that's it. Okay. And for many of these, we'll have to install the pods for this. So if you install packages on Expo, you'll notice that it installs the pods for you. And I think I saw something. I guess not. I thought I saw something that said that React Native 7.3 also did the same thing. I guess not. So we got yarn pods. Now it's yelling at me. Cocoa pods could not find compatible version. Okay, so let me. A lot of times this is just a. Let me just delete the things. Delete the node modules as well as the pod file.lock. And I will also delete the yarn.lock. These are the installed dependencies, right? So we're specifying what packages we want to use. And when we run yarn install and pod install, we create a yarn.lock and a pod file.lock, which is just like all of those dependencies installed and like their versions and all that stuff. And then that's, I think, how React Native and iOS know like where to look inside of node modules. And I should have deleted this too, but where to look inside of here. This is like the iOS version of node modules. To grab data. Okay. You can update with pod install repo update. Let's try that. Oh. There we go. So what was it saying? It was saying could not find compatible versions for pod Firebase core only. So I think this was trying to use a Firebase library, but at the native iOS level, it just didn't have access to it. So yeah. Okay, the Swift pod Firebase core internal depends on Google Utilities, which does not define modules to opt into those targets, generating module maps, which is necessary to import them from Swift. You may set use modular headers globally in your pod file. There may be some issues later with this, but go ahead and do that. Forget where it goes though. see if React Native Firebase gives us. Okay. Let me try and go back to this. This is what it's asking us to do. Use module headers. So this is saying go here. Now let's see what it says. Okay, there we go. Very cool. So now I have a new expo. I can no longer run that. So now we have the new expo. We can go ahead and run. Oops. Build failed. So if you're in Xcode and you want to know the build errors, it's this triangle, but then click on this here. We can see that we have an issue, and that's because I didn't follow all of the steps for React Native Firebase. That's for sure. So getting started, generating iOS credentials. We already did that. What we need to now do is go into the app delegate file and add a couple things. So app delegate, let me pull up Xcode and maximize it. Go into here, app delegate M. You'll go right after this. So you'll see if you go here right after app delegate.h. And then the last thing we'll need to do for Firebase, oh, it looks like it was down here. Sorry, y'all. Is underneath did finish launching with options. We will add this file. Oh, this is much simpler now. Crazy. Let me clean this. Okay. Am I missing something? Bottom always has the goods. That's not what I want. Okay, maybe that's what's happening. Okay, so let me close Xcode. Remember how I deleted the pods, I deleted the pod file .lock and the yarn .lock, but I didn't delete the pods. I'm gonna go ahead and do that again. So I'm gonna do, and that's gonna create a new pods folder. But I think it was just outdated, if I'm being honest. And I'll reopen Xcode. Now let's try. Be cool if it worked. I think it should. Time is it 7? Okay. What's next? So next we need to copy over these screens, and that's all. I mean, that's all we're gonna do is we have screens profile. We will copy over really all of these. And I don't think anything's gonna really change with them. No, I don't want to do that. Yeah, so all these imports need to be updated. Okay, so now let's see what's going on with this. Oh, I can't use Flipper. That's why I need to disable Flipper. So if you use, forgot, in a pod file, if you use frameworks, we can't use Flipper. So I'm gonna do that again. Close out Xcode. Move the trash. Run yarn pods again. Okay. Don't need a router. So let's see, where are we going from here? So we're inside of screens. We need to go back one folder and into components. So I think it's just go back there. Okay. Here we go. We'll fix up the router. So that's one file. We won't need index. Do the same here. We'll set up. No, I mean, it's all good. It's just lint errors. Okay. Fix that. Thank goodness. We'll get rid of that. Fix that. I much would prefer the non-spacing here. Okay. I think that's really it. We got layout. which we'll set in the app TSX. But that's it. There we go. So now if I go to here and do yarn start, I reload. There's our app. Cool. So that took 30 minutes to actually get it going, which isn't the worst, but yeah, I'm gonna pause this. I'll be back when I heat my coffee up. Yeah, I'll be back. Okay, so now we're back. We can get rid of this now. We're gonna go ahead and install get React navigation going. So we'll need this. So I'm gonna do that. Bring it over here. Come back to here and do React navigation. Read the docs. Yarn. We'll need to add this. Actually, I'll just delete Xcode because we're gonna have to install new pods, and then yeah, we'll just do that. Okay, so we installed. Sorry, I jumped a little bit. Installed the bare or the base package. We can see it's installing now. We'll need to do pod install, but we'll hold that for a second. Then we need to install some dependencies. We already have these, I think, the screens and the safe area context, so we're good. And then we'll go ahead and do pod install. And I'll just do yarn pods so that it does the install. It also does the pod install, and then it also does the open Xcode. Okay, we won't do the Android stuff. Sweet. So now we'll just run this again. You only need to run this from Xcode, the project from Xcode, when you install native like pods, the native iOS dependencies. Other than that, you don't have to. You can just open it back up, right? So if I finish a day developing and then the next day I open it back up and I just gotta work on some UI, I don't have to reinstall from Xcode or do like a whatever, run command as like npx run iOS, React Native run iOS or something like that. I forget what it is. So yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think how we should do this. I think, yeah. Okay, one more. Yarn start. That's what we want because it's not actually starting the cache, which is a pain in the butt, or the bundler. Okay, what we're gonna do here is bring this over to here. No. And we're gonna get going here. So inside of source, I'm gonna do a navigation, and I'm gonna do a root navigator.tsx. We're gonna update app.tsx. Export default app. 1 second. Well, I guess I could show you for fun. So Rocco, it's time for Rocco to eat. Can you see him? Focus, focus, focus. There's Rocco. He's got food here. He's got a little snuffle mat that he has to eat out of. It just slows him down. So excuse me, sir. Back up. Back your ass up. Thank you. You see this? Yeah. Oh. Can you back up? Go that way. Down. Don't cheat. That way. Go that way. And I just sprinkled some things in there. Shake it up. Free. And then they go. And then he has to find the treats inside of there. So it takes a little bit of time instead of just scarfing everything down like a crazy man. Okay. So this is where we'll need the navigation container. This is just like a provider. I think we did it in the other videos. It's just a wrapper. So everything inside of here now has access to the React navigation. Okay. And I think all we'll do here is just have the root navigator. But we'll get there. So we first need the stack. So we'll go ahead and install that. I think we'll need to do iOS again. I guess not. So if you're unfamiliar with a stack, let's think of, we're on this first screen. Let's say this first screen is just like a blank home screen, right? And that exists here. Level hand. Let's say we want to go to a screen. What we're going to do is let's say we want to go to like a profile screen. We're going to take that profile screen and put it on top, right? And let's say on that profile, we click on, their friends list. That friends list is then going to get pushed on top, right? So this stack here, it's the base home screen, it's the profile, and then it's the friends list. If we were to take off the friends list, what's going to be the current screen? It's going to be the profile. If we were to take off the profile, the current screen is home, right? So that's how stacks work. Okay. So now we need to create a stack navigator. We'll go ahead and do this inside of root navigation. So we'll go ahead and create this. We'll do const root stack equals create stack navigator. And we should be doing this with TypeScript. And what we're going to do is down here, we're going to do type root stack param list. We're going to do home. And it's just going to be home. No, I don't think we want that yet. What we want here is export. I don't know if we want to do that here either. I think we want to do, let's do navigator types. And we're going to do export const root routes. And then this is where we're going to do home. Enum. And we'll do, instead of home, we'll do root. Okay. And then we're going to bring this over here. Export type root stack param list. And we're going to do that. And then I'll explain this in a second. Oops. We go here and do that. Okay, so we created a stack, right? Like I said, that stack there. This stack uses Create Native Stack Navigator, which does the fancy stuff to give us the option to put screens on top of each other and then remove them from each other. Replace, let's say we have home, profile, friends list. And for some reason, we wanted to replace the profile with a feed. We can go ahead and do that. Like I said, I don't know why we want to do that in that use case, but we can. So root stack param list, what this does is this says, okay, whoever uses this only has access to the routes that I'm specifying. And the routes that I'm specifying, in this case, it's just the root route, right? So if I were to try to use this navigation, right, this stack navigator allows us to go from screen to screen, right? If I were to try and use this navigator to go to the messages screen, TypeScript is going to yell at us, and I mean it's just going to break in runtime. It's going to yell at us saying, "Hey, whoa, you haven't told me the root stack that I have the ability to go to the messages screen, so therefore I cannot go to the messages screen." But if I were to come into here and do messages, I would come down to here and do messages. Then it's okay. Now I know that I can go to messages, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Um, there's some more work we'll do in here eventually, but yeah. Okay. Um, so this undefined, we can also, if you look over here, we can also do stuff like user ID, or let's say maybe for this one it makes more sense to do something like message thread ID and then string. What this is saying, okay, I have the ability to go to the messages screen. When I go to the messages screen, you as the developer have the ability to provide some info for the next screen to work with, right? They're called parameters, they're called route params or queries. If you're working with web, it's stuff like I don't like, session ID equals whatever it is, right? Like this is a query. It's the same exact concept. I don't I don't use these. Every one of my screens have undefined, and that's because of how much I use Redux. Redux takes place of that. Um, so yeah. So yeah, that's okay. That's what it tells us to do down here. Now this one has us use a different stack though, like React Navigation native stack. This one has us use React Navigation stack. So I'm just going to go with that one since we're in the TypeScript documentation. Okay. And then what we're going to do is export const root navigator. And we're going to do root stack dot navigator. Why is that not working? We'll do root stack dot screen. Name is going to be equal to root routes dot root. I mean, I won't need this actually for this. So, okay, I'm going to go back a little bit. I'm going to change this to home. We don't need a root. Change that to home. And then now in here, I can do home and then component. Oh, why is this? Oh, I haven't installed this. Okay, let me go back. Sorry. So that error is saying React must be in the scope when using JSX. All we got to do is do import React. It's going to be component, and we're going to provide it the home file here. Home. There we go. So we got root routes, which I haven't imported. Okay. That's all we got to do there. And we'll come back to this later on. We will have to do this, but when it comes up, I'll talk about it. Okay, so now we have root navigator. What we need to do is go back to app.tsx, and we'll just do root navigator. And I feel like at this point, we can just do, like, we can just do this. And then inside of here, we can just do Root Navigator. Sweet. So we have root stack there. Oh, this is root navigator. We don't, what did I just do? Okay, there we go. And then inside of app.tsx, this, okay, this is what I wanted to do, sorry. Get rid of the things. Again, we'll need import React. Sweet. And then now we're getting yelled at because we don't have React Native Firebase off. So we'll go ahead and do that now. We'll install the other ones. So I think we'll need auth in Firebase, Firestore, sorry. And then we'll have to do the install again. Go to yarn pods. It's going to give us all the things. Get rid of this terminal. Let's find expo-router and get rid of everything. Yeah, there's a bunch of files. Okay, let me do yarn lint, but I go back to package.json yarn lint. We'll fix it all. So now if I go to something like this, it should fix it for us. There we go. But now we have a bunch of use router, expo-router usages, which we will actually delay fixing for now until we get to the until we get to those screens. Okay, so we'll run this. And then that's going to take us to home. I think we'll be good there. And then from there, we'll start to build out React navigation a little bit more. Sorry. Give me 1 second. Okay. Still building. So instead of router, what we're going to do is use const navigation. And I always do dispatch navigation and then use app selectors. We're going to use navigation, which is going to be an import from React navigation. Now the issue is that this is like a generic use navigation. We need to type it to, I wonder if we actually do need to do this. Like I wonder if we could, inside of here, do something like export const use root navigation, use navigation equals use, let's see. But I feel like maybe we got to, this is a hook, so this has to be used inside of a TSX file. So yeah, I don't think we can do that. Yeah, now we're getting yelled at because of the router usages, which is fine. So I guess I'll just get rid of all of those. Just get rid of it. Comment that out. Okay. Or router, get rid of that. Okay. You'll see it's very similar. Very cool. Okay, so we need to add back Redux. So we have the Redux store. So what we need to do is inside of app.tsx, we need to do provider. Store is store. Boom. And then store, we're going to import from that. So if you're not following this part, definitely go back and watch all the other videos in which we go over what's the store value and all that stuff. So, okay, there we go. Now it's definitely ugly. This stuff ain't working. Sweet. Cool. All right, so let's get rid of this. I think I can get rid of. We can switch this up. So I'm gonna do this. We don't need Xcode. We won't need it for a while, so I can get rid of that. Bring this over here. Okay, so use navigation. We need to first let's clear out all this stuff. Root navigator. I think it's this screen options header mode. Header shown is false. Sorry about that. Meant to pause it, but canceled it or ended the video. What's this yelling at me for now? Oh. Cannot read property root navigator of undefined. Root navigator. What's happening here? Okay, what if I do this? It was just working fine, wasn't it? Because of this? What if I do... See what Womenheart does. Yeah, I don't get it. What's going on here? Need to be a default? Then that would make this that. Navigation container, root stack dot navigator, provider, app root navigator, navigation container, use navigation, create stack navigator. Is it home? Is it this that's doing it? 1 second. Okay, I just had to reinstall. Remember how I installed? I think it was this, but then I didn't do the pod install. I didn't think I had to. But I definitely had to. So that's all that was. But we can see that the header's gone, which is nice. I created a fake file just to see if it was the home screen, but okay. So now, sorry for ramping down the stairs. Roofer came running a bunch. So now we're on the home screen. We have sign out, which we don't want. Am I signed in? I would still be signed in. I don't think I'm signed in. Root navigator. We have home. Okay, what did we do before? We had root before. Okay, we're gonna label this landing instead. And we're gonna go into here. Go into here. Landing. Landing. This will be landing. And then this will be landing. So yeah, we don't want to go straight to home because we're not signed in at this point. Oh. Let me try and run this again. I feel like I have the wrong ones here. Run this again. But then we'll go to landing. Landing is going to take us to nothing at the moment. So what we're going to do is do navigation. Use navigation. See, we have, what is that, root up here, but nothing's happening. Because, so let me just show you. Go to sign up. We can see that nothing's happening. So let's go ahead and do this. So what we're going to do is do navigation dot navigate root routes dot sign up, and we'll add this. We can get rid of messages. We don't need that at the moment. We will eventually, but landing root routes dot sign up. Then we're going to get yelled at, pretty much saying that this navigation, like context, doesn't have any access to sign up here. So sign up was not handled by any navigator. Oh, that's right. So if I go to, but if I go to here, I can do this. Sign up. And we can see it takes us there. Now we're still getting yelled at from a TypeScript point of view. So let's go ahead and fix that. What we need to do is essentially type this to say, hey, this is for the root navigation. So we're going to go ahead and do that. That's going to be this. No, it's not. Let's see what we got for this. We're going to use native stack navigation prop. Root stack navigation prop. We're going to give it the root stack param list, and we're going to give it a default of landing. And then we'll use this. The roofers are coming, so I have to end this here quickly. Roofers are outside, they're loud. What we're going to do is go into here, paste this, And now we can see that we are no longer getting yelled at because this navigation is now tied to this stack prop. So, so yeah, that's pretty much it. If I wanted to go to the app, what I would do is do navigation.navigate routeroutes.home. And let's say that I switch this just for the sake of switching it. It's going to now take us to the home screen. Right, so yeah, that's pretty much it. So the next video, I'll create a side video. I won't take up all the time next week on doing this. I'm going to go and fix up the navigation here. So instead of using router everywhere, we're going to go ahead and do this. And then we can pick back up with progress in the next video. So yeah, appreciate you watching. Thanks.